Remember that time 5 years ago I made a video and I said I was quitting Project Life? I might have some regrets. Hey y'all, I'm Laura. It has been forever, but I am excited to bring you a new video, a new year, and some return to memory keeping this year. It's been a long time. I have not done consistent memory keeping in many years, basically since I went to grad school in 2019. And I just didn't have time for a long time, and then I got all these other creative hobbies which I absolutely love, but I found recently just missing this aspect, missing memory keeping. And as we are hoping to grow our family this year, I realized that having documentation of the stories and the memories and the photos is more important to me now than ever before. So I'm coming back. We go through different phases of life and different seasons in life, and I was really busy and I was doing a lot of stuff. I earned a master's degree and I got married and we got a puppy, and I started gardening very prolifically and grown tremendously in that skill. And I started a second YouTube channel showing all of my fun creative lifestyle and hobbies and girly hosting things, and got diagnosed with a major disease, had a surgery. We're now going through fertility treatments. We became licensed to do foster care, and I started my career. So it's been a big 5 years. We've done a lot of things. I have been a busy girl, but I really want to return to this hobby, and this year is the year that I am doing it. So y'all, I am back. Let's talk about what my memory keeping plans are for this year, because Project Life, I am coming for ya. So one of my things with memory keeping is that it can get overwhelming and take up a lot of storage space very quickly. So I have spent the past few years going through all of my old albums. I have like 6 albums that aren't finished from previous years, but I was memory keeping for like 10 years. So like it was a very long span of time. That means I have at least 4 finished years. That's pretty good. But anyway, I went through all my old albums, including the ones I haven't finished yet, and I have learned some lessons that I am going to be taking with me into 2025 as I re-enter the world of memory keeping and Project Life. And here are the things that I'm thinking of. 1, this has to be super simple and easy for me. I need some kind of workspace. I don't have a workspace right now. If you follow along my other channel, you will know that I am in the process of sacrificing my craft room to become a nursery/kids room, because we are going through IVF and we are starting foster care. So we need that space for kiddos, and that's very exciting and wonderful. But it means I don't have a dedicated space for my memory keeping, and I don't have a desk to just sit down at and do my scrapbooking. So I need some sort of solution there to make it very easy to just sit down and catch up on my memory keeping every week or once a month or whatever it ends up looking like. And I need the process to be simple. Simplified stash of supplies that I can use and a simplified process that I turn to. So here are a couple of things that I thought of. I thought, hey, if I'm returning to memory keeping, what kind of memory keeping do I want to do? I have done one little word or word of the year journals the past couple of years, and I have really loved them, but they don't tell the whole story. They are really great for growth and development in an area of intention, but they don't tell the story of a year and the wholeness of a person's life outside of that word. So I think I am going to sacrifice my one little word journal this year for a memory keeping / Project Life album. Get rid of some of those other memory keeping projects that I feel a tug to go back to, because I know I'm only going to have space for one. So I think that's on the chopping block this year, and I can incorporate some of that journey into like actual Project Life spreads by sharing my word and such. The next thing that I thought of was traditional scrapbooking. Yeah, I love traditional scrapbooking. It's fun. I love a doodle border. I love stickers. I love layers. I love pretty paper. I love traditional scrapbooking. It is fun, but it takes up so much space, so much space. And I don't necessarily want to throw out every single layout that I ever have made. I'm really good at going through my old ones and getting rid of ones if they don't spark joy anymore, but over time it takes up a lot of space, also because a lot of traditional scrapbooking stuff that I like to do is very dimensional. Lots of layers and thick things on the paper, like thickers and titles and, you know, fun stuff, layering with paper and stuff. So I end up with all these giant scrapbooks that are full of these traditional scrapbooking layouts that only have a few photos on the page or one photo on the page. So that's on the chopping block this year. As I return to memory keeping, that is not the avenue that I am going to take, because with the conversion of getting rid of my craft room and turning it into a kid's bedroom, I don't have all that much storage space for an album, and so I need to be able to fit a lot of stories and photos on a single page. That brings me to what I will be doing this year, which is Project Life. Yes, returning to my tried, true, and faithful. I love Project Life, y'all. Love, love, love it. I loved it for a very long time. I'm actually really sad that more people don't do it anymore. Where did all the Project Lifers go? Did we all, you know, get busy and get other hobbies, or what? Like, all the companies that sell Project Life stuff are essentially switching to other products now and stuff. So I don't know where all the Project Lifers went, but after doing reflection of all of my years of memory keeping and all the different ways that I've done it, this is the format that feels the absolute best for me returning to this project. I can fit 6 photos on a single page, or more if, you know, I had filled these other spaces up with photos as well. So I can fit lots of photos on a page, and I can also, you know, fit my little journaling spots and tell my story, and this is just going to be the best format for me. Another thing that I'm going to do in terms of keeping it simple and easy and good on storage space is that I am going to be focused on flat scrapbooking. So this page is actually a great example of it. I have some alphabet stickers right here that say daughter. They are pretty flat, not entirely flat. They got a little bit of dimension to them, but they are pretty flat. They are nothing thick like thickers. If that makes sense. If you're familiar with what thickers are, they are very, very thick. So I'm going to be focused on doing very flat pages, not bulky embellishing. So that is one important factor. Next factor is size, because I want to fit an entire year in one single album. That is my goal. 1 year in one album. Not 5 albums a year with traditional scrapbooking and Project Life and. So that means I need a bigger size. Not gonna lie. The 6x8 size is probably the most fun I have ever had doing scrapbooking ever. I loved that size so much when I did it, but I would have had to have like 3 or 4 albums for that year. And so I actually went back when I was going through all my old scrapbooks and decided I was going to convert that year into a 9x12 size so that I could fit it all into a single album. So that's important when regarding sizing moving forward for me too, in regards to my storage space and just making the project really simple for me. 1 album a year, that means I'm going to need a bigger size, just with how many photos I take and how much I love to journal and the stories I like to tell. And I do love pretty paper, so, you know, I like to have a little decoration in there sometimes. I would love to do 9x12. I love 9x12. I think it's probably my favorite, but the issue is there are only 2 vendors that sell 9x12 albums online, and I don't like any of the albums available right now. So I don't have good options for an album that I'm excited about. I could just put the inserts into a 12x12 album, which those are way easier to find and access, but then, you know, I've got a couple inches of wasted space of the page protectors not going to the end of the page, and that just feels ridiculous when you look at it on the inside. At least it does to me. And so that makes me think, well, I should just go 12x12. But I love 9x12. Favorite size. So much fun. I love a smaller size, and the smaller size you get, the more fun it is. So I think I would like 9 by 12 more than I would like 12 by 12, but I'm thinking for practicality's sake and for cost sake, 12 by 12 is probably the way to go, because you can go to Hobby Lobby, get an album for half off that's really cheap. That's a 3-ring binder for 12 by 12 size. You cannot find that in the 9 by 12 size. You have to buy these expensive leather ones and pay for shipping, and the albums are like $30 each. And I also just don't love the designs that are available right now. They're all like pleather, and I personally love a good plastic or really thick like chipboard with a glossy, you know, design on it, or cover finish on it. So they don't really have anything along the lines of what I like available right now. I think they've got like some velvety plush material, and then they've got pleather. Nothing like, you know, papery that I like. So anyway, I'm thinking I will probably have to do the 12 by 12 size, just again for practicality's sake. We'll see. Maybe I have an extra 9 by 12 album laying around. I don't think so. I think I got rid of all my empty albums when I stopped doing memory keeping and was purging the craft room to make space for kids. So we'll just have to see what options I have available, but I'm gonna guess it's a 12 by 12 size. We will see. And then tried and true favorites for memory keeping. Y'all, I love Liz Tamanaha. I think that's how you pronounce it. Paisley Press, amazing designer, gorgeous. She makes the best stuff ever. And I love her digital stuff so much. But I love working physically. I can 100% say that I am a physical crafter. Keeping my hands busy is very important with my ADHD, and I love it. It's very therapeutic. As a mental health counselor, I will tell you that a lot of what we're doing in scrapbooking that other people don't realize is a thing called narrative therapy, and it can be immensely beneficial for your mental health and well-being and the way that you perceive your world and the narrative that you have about your circumstances in your life. So I love telling stories, and I love having the actual physical paper to do that. And so I think I'm going to be doing a lot of Liz Tamanaha printable stuff where I print out her journaling cards. I also have this container of Project Life cards. These are all the cards I have, which, believe it or not, is very downsized from the stash that I used to have. This is easily like a sixth of what I used to have when I was doing a lot of memory keeping. Versus now when I'm not doing any. But I do have some Project Life cards left. Definitely going to be using these and lots of white cardstock, and then printables. I love Paisley Press the most. There are a couple other shops that I like. One Little Bird, Sahin Design, something like that. It's like S-A-H-I-N. Sahin Designs, maybe? I don't know. I'm definitely spelling it and pronouncing it wrong, but her stuff is absolutely gorgeous too. And then I love flat embellishments. Again, trying to have a flat album this year as I return to memory keeping. I think I will be utilizing stamping and word stickers and flat stickers, you know, lots of little stars and hearts and stuff, and journaling and all that good stuff that tends to be relatively flat on a page. So that's kind of my thought in terms of what products I will be using. Is my little stash here, Project Life cards, which, let's be honest, that's not really little. That's a lot. I bet I could fill like 2 whole albums or more with these. And that brings me to my next point, which is kind of design and layout in my albums, because it is very important to me to save space and have 1 album a year. I have really learned this factor looking through my old albums, and that is that the more photos and stories there are, the better. I love pretty paper. I really, really do. But I used to create gorgeous layouts in which pretty paper would be like 2/3 of the layout, and then I would have a couple photos on there. And when you look back at your albums 20 years later and you have 10,000 of them and no space for your kids in the house, you know, you might start feeling a little bit stressed. I started feeling stressed, and we don't even have kids yet. And I just felt like, wow, I am taking up a lot of storage space to hold pretty paper, not actually the significant things, which are the photos and the stories. So it's really important to me that I prioritize having a lot of photos and stories on a page and less paper. So with that being my idea of layouts, is having a lot of photos and stories, I will also be using less journaling cards than I used to back in like 2016, where everything was about the pretty paper, which means this little stash of Project Life cards will go a very, very long way and could probably fill many albums, because they will just be used sparingly here and there as appropriate. So that's it, friends. That is my big announcement, returning to memory keeping, Project Life, scrapbooking. I am so excited to have this hobby back in my life again. I'm really excited for all the potential stories we might be able to tell this year, and excited about the process too. It's been a long time, and I'll be honest, I wasn't even thinking about returning to scrapbooking, and then I watched one of Ali Edwards' December daily videos. I've loved December daily as a project for many, many, many years, and done it for many, many years, but obviously not the past 6 years, as I haven't been memory keeping. I watched one of her videos for the 2024 December season, and it was one out of like the 20 some odd videos of hers that I had watched. And while she was working with vellum and doing gold foil on it with, what is that process called? The powder that you put on it, embossing. She used embossing powder to do gold embossed foil on a piece of vellum as a title. And I was just struck with this intense connection to the hobby that I used to have and do, and how much I loved it, and how much I loved doing creative stuff like that, and working with different mediums and experimenting with different ways that I could be creative with my memory keeping. That video just really reminded me of how much I was missing it, and how much I would love to have part of that back for myself without being overwhelmed like I was in years past. So this is my official plan to return to memory keeping, and to try to keep it simple and easy, and flat pages in a larger size where I can do one album a year. We'll see how it goes, but hey, it is the start of 2025 and I'm ready to dive in. So I hope some of you all are still out there doing Project Life. Let me know if you are. I need to find some fellow Project Lifers to follow and be inspired with, and yeah, just really excited to dive back in. It is so good to see you. Make sure you leave me a comment down below if you have any commentary or suggestions for how I can be successful this year in consistently doing the project and returning to it for the first time in a very long time. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, friends.